Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect and the sincere Akim, pushing this word within their lives and do so. This GMS Philadelphia Plaintables camp. We back out here another week. We prophesied the downfall of this abominable and wicked kingdom, which will help wake the elect up who have been scattered through the four corners of the earth, mainly here in the Americas, who are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled birds that reside in the other nations that look like the other nations but come from the seed of Israel. To you, we say Shalom. You know, a lot is happening in the world. And one of the most important things that's happening in the world today are the men of the Lord are standing on 2 feet, pushing His word, bringing His kingdom down, and also helping wake the elect up that's been scattered through the four corners of the earth. Give me Psalms 94 and 16.
Wow.
Yeah, and they recognize us too. There's a lot of times they don't say nothing.
Yep.
All right, you gonna go somewhere, supermarket or whatever. Somebody recognizes you.
Yeah.
Don't think that you're just walking around, preaching the gospel and you just like hidden from everybody. The scriptures say that the Lord's gonna give us fame throughout the earth. So man, they're going to know who we are, but a lot of times they're not going to say nothing. All right, because we've been given the highest office, with office of prophecy, to carry out. So we're going to be known. All right, so with that so-called popularity, we got a responsibility, to distribute the right information. Now, we can't be telling brothers it's okay to go around with belly shirt garments, with little t-shirt garments.
Yeah. Job.
Yeah, and then doing it at work. That's irresponsible. Now you go to work to earn money, not to tell people about Israel.
Yeah. Yep. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94, and verse 16. It says, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?"
Yeah, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, and who will stand up with me against the workers of iniquity? Who are the evildoers? We're going to start off with the number one evildoer on the whole planet. It's Esau-Edom. He's the chief, the chief murderer, the chief thief, the chief liar, the chief demon. And then a close second, it's 2/3 of our people. They are like their father, the devil. They emulate sleazy Eve's ways. By committing adultery at a high level. Just being complete demons. We are the men of the Lord. We've been endowed with the secrets, to rise up against the evildoers and the workers of iniquity. And how we do that? Amos 3 verse 7.
It's Amos 3 and 7.
Yeah.
And it says, "Surely the Most High Yahweh will do nothing, but He revealeth His secrets unto His servants, the prophets."
The Lord revealeth His secrets to His servants, the prophets. And we are the men of the Lord with the secrets, to uplift and to bring down. And one of the secrets, that's the covering cast that's been placed over the whole world, is who these people on the sign is. So we got a people that's running around saying that they're the chosen people of the Lord. But when you look at the curses, you will see that they don't fit any of the curses. They own all the banks, they own all the TV stations, they got all the wealth in the whole world. And when our father Jacob was about to give up the ghost, he called his children around his bed and told them all the things that would befall them during the end times. And that's one of the secrets that the prophets have revealed to the masses in efforts to wake the elect up.
Yep. Let me see. I'm gonna get this other preset because you mentioned about basically about being like Esau being evil and a murderer and such.
Yep. Water of wickedness.
Yeah.
John.
Yep. What is he? He was a murderer from the
John
beginning.
10.
Yeah, John chapter 10. It's like here in verse 10, and it says here, "The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy."
The thief is easy. He comes not but to steal, to kill, and destroy. How did he get this land? He came here speaking smooth words, making treaties with the Native Americans who are the children of Israel, and eventually overcoming them with the sword, putting them in reservations, leading them on the trail of tears, just outright destroying them. Because the thief cometh not but to steal, to steal, to kill, and destroy. You know, Sleazy E is the chief thief and the chief murderer. But the prophets have removed their covering cast because he said he white. He's not white, he red. His blood showed forth through his skin. They are the Edomites. They're not white men. And we not black. Black is a color with a negative connotation to it.
Right.
You know? Read on.
It says, I am come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundant.
Yeah, the Lord is coming back so we can have life, more abundant life. Because this living in this kingdom is not life, it's death. You know, we constantly being oppressed, even in our sleep. You know, we can't even get a good night's sleep knowing that we in captivity and tomorrow is going to be another day where we got to be oppressed by this chief thief.
Right. This book of Psalms 59:1, and it says here, I start at verse 2. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from bloody men.
God, deliver me from the workers of iniquity. We pray that every day. Let the Lord deliver us from bloody men. And Esau is the top bloody man on the face of the earth. He, you know, the sword was given to him by our father Isaac. He was going to rule by the sword. He do that religiously. He perfect, you know, the use of his sword. And the modern day sword is the AK-47. You know, the nuclear missiles that Putin about to launch over here. Bow and arrows. I was at work the other day and I was speaking to an Edomite at work. And he was talking to me about he had an 8-year-old son, and he showed me a video of the precise use of an arrow from an 8-year-old Edomite. He showed me a deer with all these holes in the middle of them, and he said that the arrow that he was using was something that a grown man would use, but he perfected it at 8 years old. So it's in their spirit. You know. If an Edomite shooting at you, it's 9 times out of 10 he's going to hit you. He's not like Jake. Jake shoot with his eyes closed. He's going to turn sideways. When Sleazy E look at you, if he gets you in this sight, he's going to blow you away. And that's the weapon that was been given. It's engrafted in his spirit. The same way we align with this book that's in our spirit, we love it. Sleazy E got guns all over his house, knives, everything. All he think about is conquering and destroying. And all we think about is being humble and being delivered. And we in the midst, we in this beast, we in captivity under a bloody man. And he always thinking about ways that he can destroy us. But the Spirit of the Lord is on us. No matter what you do to us, it's not going to work. Because the Lord said he reserves 7,000 men that you're not going to be able to touch. No matter what you do. You can give us vaccines. You know, you can poison our food. You can even educate us to the point as though we thinking like beasts. Because we were just speaking about how in the workplace you send a regiment or a group of, you know, city workers out to clean a house up, and they'll destroy what they destroy.
These guys they destroyed pretty much actual plant.
Yeah, exactly.
Plant, like basically is a plant, basically to be able to use for embroidery and such. But these city workers were given an actual order to do so by Esau-Edom, who have, of course, these various, he has the dominion of the earth. He, of course, licenses and inspects, all right, and he drafts out, you know, various violations, all right, but, of course, you have to be careful because, hey, you know, Jake worked for these different entities, but when all things goes down and you make an error, that's gonna cost them money. Hey, that could cost you your job and also a blot being on your name and such, you know. But he already set you up, you know, with the plot. All right, just go out and do it. We don't like it, you know. And that's how base Esau-Edom is. This man don't have no understanding, and he's a destroyer of the earth. Okay, so all the plants and stuff, this man could just look at some. I don't like how that maple tree look. Cut it down. I mean, like, this dude is a feller. This dude is everything anti-life. All right, he's anti-Hamashiach. He's anti-against the Messiah. All right, this man is a man of destruction. He's anti-Jake. All right, which I got a precept, and going back, you know, because Esau-Edom, the same spirit that's in Cain, was in Esau. I'm gonna go back to Cain because you said this man is a weapon. All right, Quyan going into a dagger, right? A weapon. When you go into Quayan, all right, which is Cain's name in the Hebrew, it says, this is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 4. And Abel, he also brought the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof, and Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thou countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou be accepted, and if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked to Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against his brother and slew him.
Yeah, because eventually, Cain,
He's jealous.
he knew what to bring for the sacrifice,
Yeah.
but he didn't have respect for it. Because he didn't have respect for it, he brought whatever he thought was sufficient, which actually angered the Lord. But Abel, the righteous man, he brought the legal sacrifice, and that started up jealousy amongst Cain and Abel. Eventually, to Cain slew Abel, and that's the same thing that's happening right now. That same spirit that's on Cain is in Esau. He got a perpetual hatred for us. And it's not a never-ending hatred, for his younger brother, which are the Israelites. And he's going to do any and everything in his power to subdue us and to murder us.
Yeah, he was jealous.
Yeah.
He had to buy from him. And he didn't want to buy from him or trade with him. So he took what he produced himself, because that wasn't a proper sacrifice. Proper sacrifice was what Abel. I believe it said Abel was a keeper of the sheep. What did it say? Go back to
You go into it. Yeah, it says that this is the book of Genesis chapter 4 and 2. It says, and she bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
Right, yeah, so he was jealous. He had to go to his brother to get, the proper animal for the sacrifice. But he didn't. He just took what he produced himself. So he was jealous that it didn't work, that his offering wasn't accepted. And he told him, and he already knew that it wasn't going to be accepted, but he thought he could get away with it. All right. So he paid for it. All right. So Esau, he not supposed to be right. He's supposed to be a crook. What the boys say. He said, ain't no such thing as halfway crooked or halfway crook. Esau is all evil. All right. He doesn't have a righteous bone in his body. And if he does do something righteous, it's only for the benefit of the system that he already set up. All right. He's not a couple of Edomites that are okay and the rest are bad. No, they're all bad. All right. Esau is inherently wicked, and he proves that by what he believes, what he displays. We ain't just saying it. We can tell by what he displays, what he believes. All right. If he talk about genocide amongst Judah, genocide amongst Gad, Reuben, Issachar, they scoff at that. Like, well, we won. You gotta live with it. That proves that they're a bunch of damn racists. All right. Now, it's good that they won, because in the end, the scripture, the prophecy is that, but Gad, it says the troops shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. All right. So, the southern, northern kingdom, Gad, they're gonna get their, you're gonna have Esau in slavery. All right. Gad is going to overcome. Right now, Gad is destroyed, but he's going to overcome in the very near future. Gad is going to take Esau down. The prophecy says so. Get the prophecy in Genesis 49.
Yep.
That proves that Esau can't. His kingdom's not going to stand forever. It's already prophesied that he gonna go into slavery. Gad is going to become the head again instead of the tail. All right. But right now, the tribes of Israel are serving. We are serving out our punishment. All right, but Gad is going to overcome. Whoever got to read it.
Genesis 49, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
That's the American army. Whatever they were being called back then. All right. The Edomites that came here and colonized the area. Shalom, Shalom. All right. Read again.
Genesis 49, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
But he shall overcome at the last. So we know that the Edomites are not going to reign forever. They got a certain amount of time. Like it says in Job, if he have appointed him bounds, that he shall not pass. So the people that are in power right now, they're going to be taken down. But those are the Edomites, whether they American, British, Russian, French. The Edomites, they have the best parts of the earth. They have the technology, and they even went so far up to even make up their own currency. They made it up, and they created rules around it. That's how we know who the Edomites are. All right, they have the good of this world. I'll tell you that in James. All right, so you can't even be debated about who the Edomites are. The Edomites are the ones that are going to have all the power. All right, because the powers that be, the Lord said He saw them fall like lightning. All right, so He saw the stars fall. All right, those are the Edomites. They're the stars right now. They're the ones that are dwelling in, figuratively in heaven. All right, and that are great and renowned in the world. What? For war, for creating businesses, for creating a whole money system up. All right, so they would be the stars. It even tells you in Job 12 about they got a short time. Rejoice ye heavens, those are the Edomites. All right. Read, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Genesis 27. This going into how Esau got his blessing. Genesis 27, verse 38. And
No, have that brother read it and you break it down. Get the precept for him.
Genesis 27 and 38.
Yeah, because Esau, he only has a short time to rule, because it was prophesied that he was going to rule, and it was prophesied that Gad, that we just read, was going to overcome Esau. All right? And we already proved that the Edomites are the ones that are prophesied in the last days. Well, we're going to read it right here. To further prove the point, the Edomites are going to be ruling in the last days, and it's prophesied that the tribe of Gad was going to overtake Esau. All right?
Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father.
Yeah, because Esau came in right after Jacob had dressed up like him and supplanted him for the blessing. So he asking his father Isaac, do we have any blessings for him? Read.
And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Yeah, because he knew, that the inheritance was supposed to come to him, but it went to his brother.
Because he's the eldest.
Yep.
But
it pained him.
Yeah, right.
So much so that he wept. Read.
And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
They get Genesis 25.
Yeah, the dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. He controlled all the oil. He controlled all of them. Everywhere you go, he there. And he at the top of society. That's the fatness of the earth. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword.
Yeah, the dew of heaven means that, in order for you to fly an airplane, commercial airplane, you have to speak English. So he controlled the heavens. Go ahead, read.
And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Yeah, by thy sword shalt thou live. The AK-47, the Tommy gun, the Gatling gun, all kind of swords and bow and arrows. He uses those, to conquer nations. That's how he's able to go around the whole world and do whatever he wanted to do, because it's all spiritual. Now, when I was younger, I used to watch this cartoon called He-Man, but I couldn't really understand what it was speaking about until I came into the truth. It was the mighty man, dressed up in armor or whatever, and he had a sword. And every time he wanted to go to battle, he would raise the sword to the sky and say, I have the power. And the lightning would strike the sword, and he would change a whole nother color and be invincible. And that's what happened. That's why Esau was able to go around the world, rob and pillage, because that's a blessing from the Lord. Read.
And shalt thou serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Time, if you're going to serve us, they say he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
You get Genesis 25. The first prophecy.
Genesis.
This is why Jacob did what he did. Jacob wasn't going off. It was already prophesied. And Rebecca, right? Yeah, Rebecca positioned his son to take the prophecy according to as she received it. Because the prophecy wouldn't have went through if Esau received the blessing. So Rebecca brought it into fruition, all right, by warning Jacob, about the prophecy that she experienced. I don't know if Jacob knew, but Rebecca knew when she was pregnant. So Rebecca positioned Jacob to get the proper prophecy, because it wouldn't have went through if it was the other way around. All right, because Isaac had that power. Isaac is in the spirit is the Lord. So Isaac actually had that power to bestow those blessings. So Rebecca knew that. So Rebecca was a wise woman. We don't have women like that no more. All right, read it.
This is Genesis 25, verse 21. And it says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And
because Rebecca was barren, she couldn't have children. And back in the ancient times, there's a blessing, for a woman to have a man-child. That's the only thing they wanted, more than anything, was to have a man-child. Boy, read.
Verse 22, and the children struggled together within her.
Yeah, the children, which was Jacob and Esau, had a physical fight inside the womb. It manifested itself outside the womb. Read.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Yeah, she's saying the Lord entreated me with some children. So why am I in so much pain? This is a blessing for me.